Hey, what's up y'all? It's G or Gari. I answer to both. On the internet, you can find me at Don't Undersalt, either here on YouTube or on Instagram. Every now and then, a dish comes into my life that upon first bite, I know that I have to find a way to keep it in my mouth and in my belly forever. Today's particular dish is prawn amsal. For all you Americans out there, prawns are shrimp. So I was in Goa, this western state in India that's basically like tropical paradise, and I found myself at a restaurant in the middle of the jungle with a local named Prince, and I tried this dish for the first time. After eating it, it was so yummy, I sought out a professional to learn how to make it myself. Let's go. So you start by heating up some oil in the pan. I'm just using a regular vegetable oil. You can use sunflower oil, avocado oil, whatever you feel comfortable with and works within your diet. Starting out with the oil, then you're gonna throw in some onions. Move them around, you got that sizzle working. All right. So now you've got the base of your allium, but we can always build up on that, right? So now we're gonna throw in a little pounded ginger and garlic. If you don't have a mortar and pestle at home, you should get one. If you don't wanna get one, you can just mash it around with the side of your knife and then chop it up into little pieces. It doesn't have to be uniform. You can see everything in here is just kind of mashed and ready to go. Give that all a toss. I don't think there's anything in life that smells better than the combination of onions, garlic, and ginger sizzling in a pan. Now that we have our alliums sizzling in the pan, we're gonna add in just a few spices. We're gonna start with some haldi powder or ground turmeric. When I was taught how to make this dish, I was taught just to put in the haldi powder. I'm adding a little bit of this red chili powder as well, because when I had it at the restaurant with Prince, it turned out to be this really nice orangey color instead of just yellow. I really say people eat with their eyes first, so I want to make this as beautiful as the first time I had it. Now I'm going to add in some dried red chilies. When I was in Goa, I was using these really small Goan chilies about this big. Since I'm in Delhi and I know that I won't be able to get those Goan chilies all the time, I'm using our regular dried red chilies, Kashmiri chilies. They're basically a medium to mild red chili. In the States, you can definitely find them on Amazon, or you could head to your local Patel Brothers, God knows they're all over the country, and pick up some for yourself there. If you don't feel like venturing into an Indian supermarket, you can also use any other basically mild red chili. All right, so you've got that moving around. Now you're gonna add in some fresh chili spice. So I'm actually making this prawn curry dish for my cousin brother. He's coming over for lunch today, and he's a bit of a B word when it comes to the spice. So because he's here, I'm only adding one green chili. If I was making it for myself, I'd probably add 2 or 3. In goes that. And now we're gonna add in a particular ingredient called kokum. So kokum is a fruit that is dried and then soaked in water. It's used in a lot of South Indian cuisine. I think South Africa might have it too. Don't quote me on that. Anyhow, you can definitely get this on Amazon or again at your local Patel Brothers store. So you're gonna add in about 2 to 3 pieces of the kokum. Let's go 4 just for extra measure. The kokum's gonna give this a really nice tangy sour taste and really add to the color. So our next pretty particular ingredient, but a little bit more known in other parts of the world, is tamarind. The way I buy it is in these blocks. They're kind of hard, but slightly malleable. You rip off the pieces and soak them in some warm water for about 30 to 45 minutes. Then you're just gonna get your hands in there and really give it a mush and a mash. In India, we would say nachorke, I think. My Hindi's not always that great, but I really do try. So anyways, you mash it down and you get this really nice little pulp, and you're just gonna throw that into your curry. You want to avoid putting in any of the pieces. They're not exactly the best flavor that you want, so really focus on trying to get some of that juicy pulp. All right, now it's all sizzling, moving away. We're gonna add in one more ingredient before we really start to get this sauce thick and ready to take on the prawns. Speaking of prawns, one thing that I really love about Amsol curry is once you get it nailed down with whatever protein you decide to use, you can continue to interchange it. You can use chicken, you can use fish, you can use prawns, and for you vegetarians out there, you can use a variety of vegetables. We're gonna go back to our mortar pestle and we're gonna add in some cumin seeds. Just a couple pinches. Give those a little bang, and then we're just gonna throw those into the pan. All right. Now that we have all of our spices, our alliums are really nicely starting to brown up, we're gonna add a little water and then cover up the pan to let it get bubbly and saucy and ready to take on the prawns. All right. After you add in your water, you're gonna give it a nice stir to incorporate all of the ingredients. Now, before you cover the lid to let it get bubbly and become its nice, saucy curry goodness, you of course need to salt. One last stir for good measure. Bam. Now we wait. All right, now that the sauce has been working in the pan, let's take a look. Oh yeah, baby. Onions are really starting to cook down. Everything's kind of getting melded together. Now we're gonna add in the prawns. And again, for you Americans, prawns are shrimp. So I've got the big boys. I'm gonna go ahead and line them around. I typically like to eat dishes like this with all of the shells still on them, tail, head, everything. Love sucking the head of a prawn. But I know most people don't like to do that, so I compromised today and went ahead and cleaned and deveined. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid back on and let those prawns make love in the pan. All right, after a couple minutes, you can really start to hear them sizzle. Let's check in. All right, they're starting to get pink. So we're just gonna turn these around so they can cook evenly on both sides. Oh yeah, look at that color. All right, I hear them sizzling in there. I think my prawns are ready to go. Oh yeah, baby. I'm so excited to eat this. So we're gonna turn off the heat. Now you can serve this with a nice crusty bread if you like, especially if you were eating it with like chicken, bone-in chicken with your hands and the bread. But since I have the prawns, I'm gonna eat it with rice. So it's just some simple steamed basmati rice. Take a couple of the prawns, put those right on top, and then give yourself some of that sauce. Oh yeah, baby. And there you have it, people. Kokum prawn amsal. I learned how to make this dish at Rita's Gourmet Goa. It's a cooking school in the south of Goa. Now the recipe that Rita taught me how to make was certainly authentic to her. However, this recipe, this version, is my adaptation. Please remember that anything I teach you how to make might not always be authentic, but I can promise you this, it will always be G. Let's give it a taste. This one is off the chain, people. Slightly tangy, little bit of spicy, really warm, and as you saw, super easy to make. You can make this one for yourself, for your friends, for anyone who's planning on coming over for dinner, wherever you are in the world. Again, full recipe, my version of Kokum prawn amsal in the comments. Give it a try and let me know how it turns out. Peace.